Oh no. Oh no. There we go. So, the August primaries are coming up, and there are some cities with some choices to make with primaries for council members in Coopersville and mayor of Grand Haven. You will want to make sure that you are voting for the right person. I'm attempting to reach out to all the candidates, at least in the mayoral race in Grand Haven, to get you all the information you need. Regarding the Ottawa County Board of Commissioners, the two left leaning members of the board continue to vote in lockstep on almost every issue. This week, it is for the health department yet again. The health department wants to take money from Wayne State University to upgrade our health department doors and lighting. The trade-off for the money is that Ottawa County will provide information to the university regarding how many more people in the county are getting vaccinated. Commissioner Rhodea shows that the program is actually designed to increase the number of people vaccinated specifically for COVID and to have Ottawa County advertise the health department as a an MVP. The definition of an MVP is concerning to some board members, and the motion fails. I'm Anon Don. This is the Holmes Politicast. All right. So, what we're going to be looking at here is, let's see. First up, your candidates for the election. So, our candidates for the August. I think this is the only thing going on the August 8th primaries. August 8th actually being my birthday, so make sure you get out there and vote for my birthday, but only for the candidates that aren't going to destroy our country. Pretty please. Um, so we're looking at council members for the city of Coopersville and the mayor for Grand Haven. Um, it looks like nonpartisan offices will only appear on the primary ballot. I think for the city, for the mayor, for the Grand Haven and the council members, because there are more than um, a certain number. So I don't know, maybe more than two for each spot would be it. So we're looking at a primary for the mayor. We've got four candidates: Andrea Hendrick, Benjamin Genser, Catherine M. McNally, and Bob Manetza. I have spoken to Andrea Hendrick, Catherine McNally, and Bob Manetza. Bob will be getting back to me here in about an hour and a half. Catherine McNally is looking into maybe doing an interview with me. Andrea Hendrick seems supremely uninterested in doing an interview with me, although she does know me, and so that probably has something to do with it. She Well, she said on the phone that she knows where I stand and that she is not interested in a debate. So I don't know. Maybe she's not interested in an interview, but we'll do our best to get that to you as well. Um, and then I haven't talked to Benjamin Genser yet. Gave him a call, and you can find, and you the voter, you can find all their information. You can look up. So if you go to like Benjamin Genser's page here, you go to the top, and it has his phone number right here. You can call him and you can ask him about things as well. I will be doing my best to get a hold of him and um, talk to him about some of the things. So we're going to start with him because I have his page up here. You can see that some of the issues are. So he says he's pro small business, pro education, pro economic growth, pro fiscal responsibility, pro responsible land use, and pro environment. So a lot of pros there. It looks like his main thing as I'm going through his page here, the main thing he's concerned about, and you can actually, um, there is his Tribune. Let's see if I can get this to work. There, yes, no, yes, there we go. His Tribune article as well. Um, looks like he's vice president of investments at J.P. Morgan Chase. Um, he's been regularly attending city council or city board and commission meetings. Um, he volunteers for local charitable organizations. Maybe I'll ask him about that. And he volunteers in Grand Haven area public schools. So it looks like as a financial guy, he's mostly concerned about the finances of Grand Haven. It looks like he's for paid parking, which actually all the candidates are except for um, McNally, um, which I can't say for 100%. She was against the parking structure. So it doesn't mean necessarily that she's against all paid parking, just the parking structure and where it was going in. So I retract that. I think they probably all are for some sort of paid parking, but um, the yeah, the big issue for him is having financial stability. He claims that the city of Grand Haven has been wedged in a position of financial uncertainty for years. We must stop electing leaders who push special interests, such as rewarding wealthy developers with tax breaks at the detriment of our community. So I'm curious, and this may be one of the questions I ask him, is what wealthy developers have been offered tax breaks and special interests, and how has it been a detriment to the community? Because generally, people investing or developing your community is like a good thing. So um, I would be interested to see what his response is there. And what I would assume is that it's wealthy developers coming in and building large homes that because he says here that there's uh, um, the reputation of being an unwelcoming community with an unfriendly business environment that is unaffordable and unavailable to first-time home buyers, families, and middle-class Americans. Um, what's really interesting is he says in the next sentence, Grand Haven is consistently ranked as one of the happiest communities in the nation with one of the best beaches in the U.S., yet our financial health continues to deteriorate. And I'm wondering what exactly he means by that, because when I think of the people that live in Grand Haven, I mean, none of them are really poor. Uh, I don't see how like consistently being ranked as one of the most happy communities in the nation with one of the best beaches is not related to financial health. And I'm just curious as to where the disconnect is there. So there's Benjamin Genser. He's got a few other issues. He talks about infrastructure development. He talks about the Harbor Island remediation. I think he says um, that let's see, he was not the one that says that the Board of Light and Power is doing great. But he does say that the relationship between BLP and the city councils is pivotal to the planning process. Um, he looks like he wants to get something going on Harbor Island, and then land use. He talks about using the land responsibly. He talks about maintaining the historic identity of the community, preserving property values. Uh, he talks about continued condo boom. So I think, huh, he's talking about unsightly condominium development as well. Um, So he wants more development in places such as Chinook Pier and less development in like condominiums. Um, so that's Bob, or not Bob, Benjamin Genser. That's a little bit of his resume there and what he's got going on. So Miss Catherine McNally is the current incumbent mayor. She's been mayor for 2 years. So let's see. She says she struggles with paid parking. Oh, she does say she generally doesn't support the idea of paid parking. So um, she says if there is paid parking, she would like to exempt city residents. Um, she says that she fears the cost of implementation would exceed the revenues they generate. Um, She says that the signage and the kiosks and other parking infrastructure would adversely affect the beautiful sight lines on our waterfront. And then her third reservation is that it relies upon either internet or cellular connectivity in the area, and it has not historically had reliable service. So I think yeah, I've tried to use my cell phone kind of down by the beach area. Definitely the cell service is not great down there. So we would have to invest more in infrastructure down there and reliable internet. And then she says it would discourage visitors, which I think I think that's true, possibly. I think most of the people coming to visit Grand Haven are uh, probably going to be okay with paying for parking. I'm not sure I buy that one. Um, so her two or three other issues that she sees facing the Grand Haven is the dissolution or the dissolving of the Board of Latent Power. Um, she says that they're doing. This is the one. Okay, so Miss McNally is the one that says that they're doing great. They've budgeted themselves well. Um, they they're putting into cleaning up the Harbor Island. So she's a lot more for the Board of Light and Power. So another issue that she has is the health of the city's 200-acre urban forest, Duncan Wood, Mulligan's Hollow, and the Lake Forest Cemetery. So I think that's going to be something that might rally voters. I think that the people of Grand Haven really value those places. I know anybody that does senior pictures probably goes to Duncan Woods. We did family portraits at Duncan Woods, so keeping those areas maintained well is going to be a winner for her. I think if she pushes on that, she'll have success in this mayoral run. So Bob Manetza, I hope I said that right. Bob Manetza. Yeah, I think that's right. So Robert Manetza, I'm hoping to talk to him in about an hour and a half here. Uh, he says about paid parking that there is no such thing actually as free parking. All the parking right now is currently paid for by tax dollars from every homeowner and every business. So he also says city residents should be exempt from paid parking since they're paying already, and that the business district should not be included. He says that he thinks as well that paid parking will drive away businesses and tourists and stuff like that. He says that other communities such as Muskegon and South Haven have successful programs along their waterfront that you can look at. And that he's concerned that the city needs to take a look at the unintended consequences of heavy on-street parking. Um, so, people that are trying to avoid the paying to park, like parking on the other side of the highway, along the streets rather than parking downtown, because it's really not a far walk from across the highway to downtown. And that's what I usually do anyway, because parking is ridiculous down there. So that's where Bob Manezza stands. So a couple of other issues that he has is the shortage and excessive cost of housing. So he wants more affordable housing. Um, he says that there are problems of homelessness. I haven't seen much homelessness in Grand Haven. I'm not sure how many people are living on the street in Grand Haven. I'm not aware of really any people living homeless in Grand Haven. Um, like living out on the street. Like when you think of homelessness, living out on the street, I don't really see that as being a problem. I'm not sure if Bob Manezza does. I'll have to ask him about that later on, but um, yeah. So that's one of his issues. Another issue is balancing operating expenses with long-term debts, um, and uh, maintaining and reconstructing public infrastructure. So that's kind of Bob Manezza's wrap there. What he's focusing on for his mayoral run. I'm going to save Andrea Hendrick for last because I think what she does with her interview with the Tribune is going to be a winner for her. I hate as much as I don't like to see this being a winning topic. So Andrea says that she is in support of paid parking. She also says that the taxpayers of the city are paying for everything. She says parking passes for Grand Haven citizens, even in the paid parking areas. Um, let's see. She looks like it's not. She's not concerned with implementation as or as regards um, infrastructure and the parking meters and stuff like that. She's talking about QR codes, scanning options, allowing people to pay from their phone. Um, so she does mention that infrastructure will have to be a portion of the revenue. Um, so, again, you get down toward the beach and you don't have cell service and you can't get on any of the parking apps. Like that would need to be fixed before parking goes in. And I don't think she necessarily says anything about that, but she does want to get paid parking in there in some way, shape, or form. Um, Financially, she says Harbor Island is one of her top concerns. Um, let's see. She's got she talks about the $2.5 million in the EGLE budget to clean up the island. Um, she talks about the unfunded pension liability for city employees. Um, that's I think those are the biggest things. So here's where I think she does something different from all of the other candidates. She specifically is targeting Ottawa Impact, which I think might actually do her good in Grand Haven. So Grand Haven is a lot more blue, and they see Ottawa Impact because they read the Grand Haven Tribune and subsequently the Holland Sentinel by proxy because the Grand Haven Tribune prints Sarah Leach's articles. They see the Ottawa Impact candidates as very, very bad. So she says that they've been atrocious and extremely detrimental to the health of Ottawa County. I'm not really sure I see that. I don't really notice anything different. Still living my life, and prices have gone up. Like prices were up before Ottawa Impact took office. So I would if I get the interview with her, I would ask her, to specifically cite what atrocious and extremely detrimental things have happened. Um, she says in their first meeting alone, they managed to cost the taxpayers hundreds of $1,000s, and cast Ottawa County into the national spotlight. So I would again wonder how they costed Ottawa County hundreds of thousands of dollars. They got rid of the DENI office, which saved the county money. Um, she says that they replaced the highly qualified county administrator, and hired John Gibbs. So again, I'm not sure how that costed money to the taxpayers. I would ask her to substantiate that. Attempted to replace the county health administrator, which resulted in a lawsuit. Um, Again, that's not something that they, uh, it may have cost money for the legal, but I think a lot of people in Ottawa County were already looking for that. So again, it's I think it's red meat for Grand Haven people, but overall in Ottawa County, um, these claims aren't really substantiated. Um, so yeah, overstepping their authority as county commissioners. Not really sure. Again, that that's substantiated, but again, red meat for Grand Haven because they trend more blue and they read the Grand Haven Tribune. So she says she strongly opposes the work of Ottawa Impact and will stand with our local community, especially those who have been targeted for discrimination. I would ask who's been targeted for discrimination. Um, and she says that she wants to ensure that Ottawa Impact is never able to gain a foothold in Grand Haven city government. So I'm curious if there's somebody running for Ottawa Impact in city government, but I don't think so. She says other areas of interest are economic growth and commercial corridors and sustainability. So there is your Grand Haven mayoral candidates. The primaries are, like I said, August 8th. That's only a couple weeks away. So um, leave a comment on the old YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, whatever you're on. Let me know who you are thinking of voting for, and if you have questions for the candidates, that would be spectacular. So we move on to the Ottawa County Board of Commissioners meeting, or it's not the Board of Commissioners meeting. It was the oh goodness, financial financial meeting. So um, we were offered this money to upgrade our health department, that specifically get um, to get doors that were friendly to disabled people and lighting that was friendly um, to people with I forget what exactly they're saying, but basically doors and lighting would be the extent of the grant. So some of the commissioners were really concerned about that. They grilled the person that was presenting with questions about exactly what is that's not what I want about exactly what is the trade-off, because there's no such thing as a free lunch. We know that if somebody's giving us money, they're going to want something from us. So here's the health department talking about effective and efficient running of our Ottawa County Health Department.
One thing that we're always trying to do is be effective and efficient with our money. So if we can get a grant to pay for something and not have the county pay for it, that's a good thing. For us, this grant doesn't compromise our values because we already promote vaccine and we have a strong evidence base in general that vaccines are safer than the diseases they have been designed to prevent. Now, for every single person, that is not the case, but as a population, and we do population level health, the safety is very high for vaccines in general, and we're promoting all. For children, this is flu and COVID and other vaccines. We do get a lot of children in for their childhood vaccines, and they come to health department because we're low cost or free. So a lot of families do that. So we promote them. We count these things already because we have to, because we want to measure what we're doing as a clinic and how effective we are, and our numbers going up, are they going down? How do we address that? So this reporting is something we already have, just like any other medical provider would have. This is disaggregated, so there's no way that they can identify anyone. They're going to get a whole number, and they can't.
So she's saying that we already keep numbers that Wayne State, would want to get from us. Some of the commissioners were saying that, like, oh, we don't want to give residents information away. We don't want to see, some of the freaking chat replay things are ridiculous. I wish they didn't show this. Hide that. So they were talking about, or this lady from the health department was talking about how we already do this. We want to use the funding because it's cost effective and it's going to cost taxpayers less, and on and on. So Sylvia Rhodea, of course, that's my commissioner. She comes in with a bit different of a
today,
take
and
on
then
what exactly is going on with Wayne State, what exactly they're wanting from us, because it's not just information. Turns out it's other things as well that the health department kind of forgot to mention.
on the back side, it talks about how to become MVP certified. And basically these are all the descriptions of the things outlined today that we would need to comply with, and then all of the benefits. So it's what we're looking at.
Okay.
And so so there's two things that MVP is identified as on this. One is a most valuable provider, and definitely for disabilities. But also MVP also stands for Michigan Vaccination Partners. And so this appears very much to be kind of like Allison was saying, you pat my back, I'll pat yours. If we do these things that they want us to do in regards to vaccination, promoting vaccinations, putting a label on ourselves, then they'll give us some money to do some ADA things that we need, and probably other health departments need it as well. And so I guess I would just say that, as far as keeping part of this, or, doing what we can with this grant to get the money, I personally don't really want our health department to have the MVP logo, because there seems to be some things connected with that I don't necessarily agree with. So
I appreciate that we don't have to hit a target.
yeah, I personally I'm very supportive of us looking at what can we do to be ADA compliant, because absolutely we need to be. And how can we be sensitive with sensory needs? We absolutely need to be sensitive with those needs, but this particular grant might not be the way to go about that.
So, commissioners in favor of being ADA compliant, being sensitive to the sensory needs of our constituents, just not necessarily in the same way that Wayne State wants us to be, putting their logo on our health department, and all the things that are kind of wrapped up in that. So that's kind of what's happening with Ottawa County. We've the Board of Commissioners is not going to be taking money from people that require us to conduct ourselves in a certain way, which I think is pretty good. I wouldn't want our county to be bought by just about, just anybody that comes along and says, hey, we'll give you money to take care of your priorities, but we want this in return. So, and I heard a lot about quid pro quo being very bad in politics. So that was during the 2016 election. Quid pro quo was very bad, but it seems that the tide changes kind of depending on which side is offering quid pro quo and which side is going to benefit from it. So, of course, Doug Zylstra and Roger Bergman voted to take the money. The rest of the commissioners voted not to take the money. So that is where we're standing, and that's kind of what um, what our commissioners are up to. So I appreciate you guys joining me for this show. Again, next show, I'm hoping to have a little bit more on our mayoral candidates for Grand Haven, the city of Grand Haven. Hoping to have maybe a little bit more on the Coopersville candidates and what they're all about. So make sure you are tuning in, staying updated with all of your election needs this election cycle. 40 minutes a week, you can't beat that. You get some information, you get a little bit of guidance in how to look up all these political actors, and hopefully we can have a local media presence here to keep them accountable. So if you like what I'm doing, make sure you share it with a friend, make sure you share it with your neighbors, and make sure you get out there and vote on my birthday. So with that, I want to wish you guys a happy week. I'm going to be back next week on Tuesday. We're going to be talking about the meeting that's happening right now. I'm Anon Don. This is the Homes Politicast.